ubuzalwane kuyo yonke into siyenzayo. Kanti ke ngoku mphulaphuli, we are just about to start. We are about to start khona ke undwendwe lethu sizoba nalo pha emnxebeni, I believe. I'm just waiting on her ukuthi angene. I'm waiting on her angene so that we can start with Ilandoga interview.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me on your side?
Yes, I can, Lungelo.
Yes, yeah.
Greetings to you.
Yeah, I just want can you put Ilandoga a video on?
Currently not, because I'm still en route to Durban.
Okay.
So I'm just in my car. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me on your side?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. On the line we have Ntombi. Before I can even start introducing you, Ntombi, I would want to give you this opportunity and that you introduce yourself to us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lungelo. I'm so happy to be on your show. I am from InRise Consulting, and I'm a mental health specialist.
Okay.
At InRise, we focus on employee wellness and supporting employees with mental health, but also holistic wellness, because we do recognize that mental health is also affected by other things such like financial health, and it also affects your physical well-being. So we don't only talk to people about mental health, but we talk to them about counseling and making wellness a lifestyle.
Okay, making wellness a lifestyle. I like that one. We welcome you on the show, Ntombi, and it is a great pleasure to have you. I know, Guti, Sundays sometimes they tend to be very hectic and short, and thank you for allowing us an opportunity to have an interview with you. As you are coming from a mental wellness, we just want us, Oguti, if you can assist us on the issue or the topic called stress. What is stress, and what could be the causes of stress or the things that triggers stress?
Great. I think this is a very important topic, Lungelo, ngoba I'm sure baningi abantu abathi hayi cha ngiyasizwa stress in many different ways. And sometimes people may feel stress ukuthi you get a headache, and this consistent headache, or you're getting migraines, or awusakwazi ukulala ebusuku, you're getting insomnia. And other various stresses that mhlambe usakwazi ukukhulumisa abantu kahle, you're very short in the way, in the tone, you're getting into arguments, you are physical, you become physical now, or you're very easily irritable. And at times it may actually affect, in terms of relationships and erectile dysfunctions. Uthola umuntu ukuthi ngoba ephethwe stress ukuthi naye enze athole erection and things like that. But the scientific view of stress is that there's positive stress, and then there's also negative stress. So kuba khona acute stress, and this is short-term stress, where often when we're seeing an athlete, mhlambe se prepare for a race, and the adrenaline, ukuthi when you feel your heartbeat, your heart is beating faster, you may even start sweating, you're breathing more deeply, and your muscles tense up. And so that is acute stress, because it can actually elevate your performance. It can elevate your level of thinking, okay, mhlambe ngine assignment njengamanje akufuneka ngiyenze, and you become more creative. Acute stress may happen there's an emergency. We've heard of parents or women being able to do miraculous things, trying to save their children, and they're able to lift up cars and that's really stress. And it's a very good kind of symptom of stress. It's short for that time, and it's geared to help your body to become stronger, and your mind becomes more focused. You become more creative. So that is the short-term stress. You can get this kind of stress when you first hear Guti, you have a promotion, so you're excited, and it can also be stressful. Or you are proposing marriage to the person you love. That's also stressful, but it's a positive kind of stress.
Yeah.
And then we have then the chronic stress. When stress becomes a lifestyle, a habit, it's long-term. And this is the dangerous kind of stress. Ukuthi umuntu mhlambe uye emsebenzini and they're not in a good work environment. Njalo nje meya emsebenzini ufikelwa ukuthi ukukhathala, or angakwazi ukuphefumula kahle, or aphathwe ikhanda. That kind of stress is like where your immune system may go down because of stress, where a person may end up now drinking just to cope with the stress, or end up, using negative coping mechanisms in terms of maybe shopping online, or they're now not able to sleep and things like that. So the long-term stress is really where people are not comfortable with their situation and who they are, and they're not in a. So this can be in a relationship that, when you are not attending to the things that you want to attend to, you're not communicating anymore in the relationship. And how I like to explain this kind of stress is, if you can think of your emotional cupboard, and every time something happens, mhlambe uyadrive emsebenzini and someone cuts you off, you put that into your emotional cupboard. You get to work and, things are not happening well at work. You didn't get the promotion that you wanted, or the results, you didn't get the targets, and you put that disappointment in your emotional cupboard. Ufike endlini, nangu upartner wakho mhlambe akaphekile, mhlambe uqumbile, and they're angry, you're not communicating, and then you put again that rejection into your emotional cupboard. Sooner or later, that emotional cupboard starts, getting full and full. And what then happens? It wants to fling open, it wants to burst. And so the long-term stress, the chronic stress, doesn't happen overnight. It's the things that we do not attend to on a day-to-day, causing this emotional cupboard to fill up and fill up and fill up until it explodes. And when it explodes, it can be anything from Uguti, now you lash out at your child and you're shouting at them just for spilling a glass of water. So your reaction is now overly exaggerated. It can end up to actually fighting and being aggressive towards someone. It can end up being road rage. It can end up being going into depression and not wanting to interact nabantu. And so those are the two different forms of stress, if I may simplify it to that level.
Wow. Thank you for that explanation. And now I know, Guti, there's the short-term stress and there's a long-term stress. Now I want you to tell us, Guti, how can we manage or limit the impact of these stresses in our lives, most especially the one that you have highlighted, long-term stress?
Yes. And so in looking to limit stress, we actually need to be more familiar with ourselves, to know who we are, to know what it is that gives us energy and fulfillment and what drains our energy. Because if we don't know ourselves, we will not be able to pick up the triggers. And what I mean, is mhlambe umuntu wakhula thiwa ubaba wakhe akekho, wakhula ubaba engekho, the father was never present in their lives, was alive but not in their lives. And so now when they are adults and they, you know, in a relationship and, you know, someone says, oh, but you good for nothing, or you're not good enough, or that can be a trigger to say, hey, mhlawumbe ubaba wangishiya because I have this message in my head saying my father left because I was not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, or he didn't love me. So every time mhlambe umuntu I'm in a situation where they feel rejection or they didn't get the result that they wanted, it can be a trigger, you know. And so if you don't know, you can go around life being triggered in different ways. You can be triggered ukuthi someone didn't greet you. You can be triggered ukuthi in terms of your relationship with your finances. Finances actually in South Africa has become one of the main causes of stress to employees. And that is because we don't have a good relationship with our finances. So every time now you have money in your bank account, you think, oh no, I must spend it because I'm used to not having money. And the stress of not having money, you know, you then wear it as if it's a norm. And so a lot of the times is we normalize stress. We normalize having a headache. We normalize eating the wrong foods. And so then our bodies become dysfunctional and we become sick. And it becomes a norm. So what I'd really like to promote people in doing is first take control. And sometimes that may mean doing an assessment of yourself and saying, what are the things that I like about myself? What's working in my life? What is it that I'm doing well? And what are the things that are going well in my life? What are the things that I want to change? Okay. And also knowing what your own personal goals are. Stress also comes from us cutting and pasting our picture of success. Just because maybe your mom said, oh, you must become a doctor. Doctors are successful. And then you end up not being a doctor and maybe you want to do something else. You want to do music. You want to be an engineer. So now you're going to in terms of, oh, I'm going to fail as an artist because how can I be a successful artist when my mom said only doctors and accountants are the people who are successful? So let us not cut and paste our pictures of success. Ukuthi ubona omunye umuntu ena something and they may, in you only seeing the outside, they may be looking to have the material things or you know, have a good position at work. But when you need to look at yourself and say, what are my goals? What is it that I want in my life? And then you start mapping your way towards that. The other tips that I may put across, Uguti, be active. You know, so often now our day-to-day lives, and unfortunately we're passing this on to our children. We're spending too much time on our, whether it is the phone or television, we're sitting in our cars, driving to work or getting transport to work, we're sitting at work. We are not doing enough physically. And one of the things is when you are feeling emotionally strained and mentally strained, it also affects your body. It affects, you know, your muscles, gain toxins. So you actually need to work that stress out of your muscles. Rather take a walk. You don't always have to be at the gym or having a gym membership, but actually walking, playing with your children. Go outside and play with your children, not just watch TV and say, oh, I'm de-stressing after work by watching TV. But often the things that we're watching on TV are affecting our minds, our emotions in a different way. If you're watching a scary movie, it is stresses to your mind that you must either run or freeze or something. So you are actually not relaxing by watching a scary movie or by watching the news all the time, because it is sending messages of stress to your mind and your body. The other thing that I must really try and promote to people is communication. A lot of the stresses that we have in our relationships, whether it's relationship with our children, our partners, relationships at work, in our families, is because of poor communication. Umuntu ungakwazi ukukhuluma naye ukuthi ngiphatheke kabi by this. I don't like what you did. It made me feel this way. You may find that you are getting the wrong message, or you assumed wrongly. And communication is going to be able to unpack that situation and actually maybe build stronger relationships. So please let us talk about what is not sitting well with us. Don't let it, grow bigger and bigger and bigger, or ungafeli phakathi, Just talk about things that are not working for you, or, the way that you feel. And also when you do that with your children, you're actually building an environment, a culture of saying, we can talk about things, we can have difficult conversations. And that also builds trust in children. And later on, it will help them to be adults who are able to manage conflict in their lives, who are able to address, anger in a positive way. Then the other is, if able to communicate and we are not able to sit down and map out our lives, ngoba mhlambe the problem is now too big for us. Please seek professional help.
Okay.
Ngoba sometimes lelo khabethe lelo, that emotional drawer, is too full. It's full of things, that are holding us back. The load is too heavy and we cannot actually move forward. We cannot progress. And that is when umuntu would need to then talk to someone who can help them, someone who's professional, where everything that you say and talk about in your counseling session will be confidential. Okay. Right. So I do have a long list of other things that people can do, but I'm not sure if I can continue. The other, instead of being reactive, and when I say reactive, it's, when you're going to spend your money without having a budget, and then awusenayo imali yokuthi ube ne-transport yokuya emsebenzini, suzophathwa stress ukuthi usakwazi ukuya emsebenzini, or khulumi about things that matter to you, or in your relationship, and all of a sudden you have expectations that your partner is not meeting. All of this is creating stress. So and we often normalize this, and we make stress a lifestyle. So I'm saying, let us try and make wellness a lifestyle.
Wow.
And how do we make wellness a lifestyle? Is actually put yourself in your calendar. Schedule time for you. People show up to their work. We show up to our work. We show up to our families. We show up to maybe even our extended families, our partners. And you are this car going around, picking people up, taking them wherever they need to go. Kodwa awucheki ukuthi upetrol lona suyaphela.
Wow.
The petrol light is red, and you keep on going. You keep on serving. You keep on being there for people, showing up. The day the petrol finishes, the car will stop.
Wow.
And what happens when the car stops? Everyone feels disappointed. You didn't show up for this. You didn't do this for me. You disappointed me this. But most importantly, you didn't show up for yourself. And so when the car stops, that could look like illness. You are rushed to hospital. It can look like blood pressure. You can start having fits. You can have a stroke. You can actually go into depression that paralyzes you from being able to do anything. And so you haven't shown up for yourself.
Wow.
And the way of minimizing stress is first show up for you
Yeah.
before you show up to anything. Before you show up to your work, before you show up to your partner and your kids, you have this 20 minutes, whether it's in the morning or the evening, and just ask yourself, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Take the time to just breathe. Appreciate your life. A lot of people say, I appreciate my life, but how are we showing that we are appreciating our life? How are we showing that we are appreciating the breath that we are taking in each and every single day? And show up to yourself, whether it is through a prayer, whether it is through meditation, or whether it's just through sitting still and saying, I am alive. I appreciate who I am. Counting your blessings, being grateful for what you have right now. And gratitude is the one way of reducing stress, because instead of worrying about all the things that you haven't done, the things that you don't have, you can just focus for a moment on everything that you have. Your body can move. You have a mind that thinks. Maybe you have shelter. You have a family around you. Maybe you still have a job. And even when you don't even have a job, the fact that you have all your limbs and you're still breathing, that means you can do something. Okay. So those are different ways of minimizing and reducing stress.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this interview, and I'm taking notes as you are speaking. And there's this part, I think I will have to come back and watch this even after the show. There's this part where you said, make a wellness a lifestyle and show up to yourself. I know, Kuti, in as much as we are trying our best, I want you to liberate, even if it's just 1 minute, to liberate a person who does everything to show Uguti he is there for people, and yet he is neglecting himself. What can you say to that person who says, I'm doing everything that I could within my power, and to such an extent that sometimes they are even scared when people are asking for money, be it your family, your partner, your children. You are even afraid of saying you don't have. You rather sacrifice the last penny that you have so that you make the other party or the other person happy in an altar of surrendering your life. What can you say to that person?
Yes, it reminds me of a certain quote that says, you can be too busy doing good that you don't have time to be good.
Wow.
So that means be good to you. You know, we have the saying, do unto others as you would like to have done to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So we so often, and people like that who give, and that's talking about that will soon run out of petrol. We forget that in giving, we need to be able to receive.
Wow.
And there are people who are savers or selfless. It is not good to be selfless. There's no nobleness in being selfless. We need to be good. Fill up your cup so that you can be able to pour onto other people's cup. And this may come also from how we were socialized growing up. You know, you always told, do this and share this, and being good is all about being good to others. And we haven't taught our children on how do I be good to myself? What does that mean? Because in order to love and to share love, you need to be able to experience. And you know, in relationships, so often people say, oh, I want my partner to respect me, to love me, to be honest to me. And the question is, are you those things to yourself
Yeah.
that you want your partner to be to you?
Yeah.
So what I would like to say to people like that is, fill your cup up first. Seek what it is that you need so that you can be a car that is well kept, that is serviced, that your tires are checked, your engines are checked. You have filled up your petrol so that you can be able to take people wherever they need to be taken. You can be able to serve people. You can be able to help people. There is no nobleness in selflessness.
Wow.
We need to take care of ourselves first so that of others. We need to fill ourselves with love so that we are able to give love. Don't pour from an empty cup.
Yo. Wow. Don't pour from an empty cup. Yo, Ntombi. I just want you to do your closing remarks. I am so loaded after hearing what you just said. I also think I've taken some points for myself, and I believe that even the listener that is listening to this interview is also taking notes and taking some nuggets also in his or her pocket, so that we start filling our own cups, and so that we cannot pour from an empty cup. Yeah, let me give you this opportunity, therefore, to do your closing remarks.
Okay, great. We look forward to anyone who would like us to journey with them, to assist them in building a path of wellness, a wellness lifestyle, where it's about fulfillment for themselves, and they can contact us on our WhatsApp number. It is 074 8686 523, or check us out on our social media, Facebook and Instagram, inriseconsult.com. We also have our website, which is inriseconsult.com. We also have, you know, therapy groups. We have individual counseling groups. We have our retreats that we have. So please check us out on our socials so that you can stay up to date with all of our different activities. We also do team buildings in corporate companies, and we do wellness days in companies as well. So you can call us for that. The last that I'd like to say is, please make time each and every single day to show up first to yourself before you show up to anything. That is how you're going to keep yourself healthy. That is how you're going to win in life and be able to give unto others so that they can also win.
Wow. Ntombi, thank you very much for such an informative session that we had with you. And I can safely say that we will try and have you again on this wonderful show. I am really inspired, and I've learned a lot of things within this short period of time. And thank you very much for availing yourself and going your way out to make sure that this interview, it becomes a success. We really salute you, and may you have a blessed Sunday evening.
Thank you so much, Lungelo, and to all your listeners.
Thank you. Wow, baphulaphuli kanti ke lowo